What is GTM, and how it is different from, let's say, in general, like inbound slash outbound, or how do you, I mean, there is a lot of talks going on GTM these days. For someone who is getting into this, what is GTM all about?
I'm trying to figure it out myself. No, but I tell you, so GTM, I think GTM is like there used to be sales, there used to be marketing, right? So today a lot of things are blurring. So I think the way I look at GTM is somebody who knows first principles, who thinks like it need not like, what do we need to do to get a customer? That is the goal. The channel is not the goal. Like you need not use sales as a motion. You can use marketing as a motion, but identifying the channel that we need to go, what messaging we need to do. How do we activate these channels? So I think a good GTM, like you can be a generalist, but you need to understand marketing principles. You need to understand first principles of how people, why you're doing what you're doing. And you need to be able to execute. Like everything is execution. Like you can write hundreds of papers, thought processes, you're on how the world is moving, all that. If you're not able to execute, it's absolutely pointless. So that's how I look at GTM. The new upcoming thing that you mentioned is GTM engineer, right? So GTM engineer is really cool. And I think this entire GTM engineer blew up after Clay, right? So essentially, anybody who can use Clay today is defined as a GTM engineer. That's what Clay has done. I think what they've done is phenomenal in the marketing world. They've created an entire new category of jobs called GTM engineer. It's become that important. So a GTM engineer is basically somebody who can automate a lot of tasks for you. Like for instance, researching and identifying who you have to contact is a huge problem. Like prospecting is a huge pain. But can you use tools and automate that entire process? So essentially, you would call it RevOps is a huge part of GTM engineer, but a GTM engineer is more focused on getting revenue through these processes they do. And it's not only report, like it has less to do with reporting, has more to do with working with sales and marketing team and doing, getting workflows ready.
So one aspect here, I mean, very, one not one thing, it is in the initial phase of the company.
I think essentially, after GTM is very, very important for your 0 to 10 million journey or 0 to 20 million journey, right? Any company that's doing 20 million will want to launch a new product. Yeah. Now you have to launch a new product. You need to do a bunch of things again. Or you might want to launch a new geography. Things like launching geography sometimes, like for instance, in Japan, without having local people in Japan, it's very hard to sell to the Japanese market. Without that insight, if somebody tries selling to Japan from wherever, they might end up failing. So there are nuances like that, but I agree with you. Like I think for small to mid-scale companies, it makes sense. And once you go past that, I think the relevance of a GTM person, I wouldn't say dies down, but for that most important product that's generating majority of revenue, things will get set. And which means the GTM person has done a good job, and then you move on to the next product.
Okay. Got it. And coming to the last part, so you are pretty active on LinkedIn these days, and of course, with your GTM talks as well as your LinkedIn content, which is all about, GTM again. So how are you thinking of LinkedIn, and like why are you doing, LinkedIn? How are you doing it? What's your objective?
I don't prioritize LinkedIn as much as I should be doing. Like for instance, what I do on one Sunday, I'll open my Gmail, and I create one email. And I'll just create drafts of various posts that I can post during the week. And these are not very structured thinking where I'm doing, like these are based on things that I've thought about during the week or things that from the past that made sense. And I just write these. And then during the week, I start posting these. That's all I do. And why am I doing this is I think that in today's world, you need, like building a brand is very important for yourself. You might be a marketing salesperson, whoever. Building that brand is important. It will open up doors. It will open up opportunities. You will have new conversations with people, especially if you're in the sales and marketing world. I think that all the more important because people is everything. Like you have to build relationships with people, right?
And any podcasts or newsletters, any resources for recommendations?
I think Twitter is the go-to place for all things. Like from politics, you would have seen Elon Musk and Trump's tweets yesterday. So I think Twitter is the place. Like anything, if you follow the right people on Twitter or on the marketing world, you'll get updates as and when they happen. Similarly, Ajay, if you want specific names, like I'm not a big newsletter guy, but one newsletter that I really like reading is Kyle Poyar's, I think it's called Unhinged, if I'm not mistaken. Growth Unhinged, I think it's called. I really like this newsletter. It's very well researched. It's very nice. Yeah. So that's one newsletter that I really like reading. Otherwise, it's a lot of random articles that I pick and choose from the people that I follow on LinkedIn and from the people on Twitter. Ben Land is one person that I follow. And he writes a lot of cool stuff. All these people are on Twitter and LinkedIn. In terms of what podcast Though I don't have one podcast that I probably one or two, right? I think one podcast that I would recommend everybody is Lenny's podcast. If you're in the startup world,
Yeah.
predominantly around product folks, but they talk about a wide range of things. So Lenny's podcast is one. And I like Nikhil Kamat's podcast a lot as well. I listen to that. So the way I think about marketing, I don't think you need to only look at B2B SaaS if you want to do B2B SaaS marketing. I think some of the best ideas might come from B2C, where something that Mr. Beast might have said in one part, like it can come from anywhere. So I consume a lot of content there, and unlimited scrolling on Instagram, which I'm reducing. Where again, if you follow the right people on Instagram, there are a lot of nice stuff that you can get on Instagram as well. It might not be directly it is not B2B SaaS related, but it might be marketing related, where some company has done something really cool. So that's how I get my information and content. And yeah.
One interesting person from Instagram.
One interesting. See, there's Mad Over Marketing is one Instagram page, for instance.
Yeah.
Which I think really cool stuff they post.
Right. Yeah. Great. So great conversation, Ashish. So there are a lot of useful resources for viewers to pick up and check as well. And I'll stay tuned. I'm staying tuned to your LinkedIn and also the GTM Talks podcast to know more on that. Thanks for doing this, and we will plan for another chat some other time. Hope this episode was an interesting watch for you. We look forward to your suggestions and feedback. Please write to me or leave your thoughts in the comments. So the 0 to 100 series and the AFO marketing, we are releasing it every Thursday. So please stay tuned and share this episode with that favorite founder/marketing friend of yours. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and yes, leave your comments as well. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, cheers and take care.